Hello, gentle friends, and welcome back to the coverage of the REBBL's Eternal Blood Bowl League. My name is Counterfeit, of course, and we're going to be covering today a Wood Elf versus a Necromantic match. In fact, it's pretty much ready to start right now. So let's go and jump in. Let's bring that music down oh so low and see what these guys have got for us. Right, let me update our team values because, interestingly enough, they are very, very similar between these two teams. So I guess we get a little bit of a baseline of what the teams at this kind of level of play are supposed to look like. Alright, let's update that stuff. Has it come up on stream? It has! Okay, and it's even on the right side. Why, what a day, what a day. Let me as well get my pen drawing ready, because when I'm by myself, I tend to pass a little bit of the time by scribbling all over the screen because it's a nice way of doing things. So, coming into this one, we've got ourselves... hey, we're going to try and follow the game from the beginning. So, apologies if this does put off anyone who knows the game already, but I'm going to try and explain to Bloodblip how Blood Bowl works, because they're not a Blood Bowl fan. Well, hopefully still providing commentary that's going to be of use to other people as well. So, Blood Bowl is a game very, very similar and inspired heavily by American football, in which the two teams attempt to take the ball and place it in the other person's end zone, or other team's end zone. Whoever does that the most times will be declared the winner, though it's possible to have a draw as well. Yes! Let me just see if the screen painting stuff is working. And then, prepare to be amazed, Serikata. So if we want to talk about this player... Oh, wait, it's not set to the right size. Let's get that sorted out. Oop. There we go. Alright, so let's try that right again. So if we want to draw on the screen, I would say we want this player. We sometimes need to pause because the game will just move the camera out for no good reason. But say if you want to talk about this wolfy boy over there, you can do that. If you want to say, hey, these guys, they go through here, and then they defend across this line, you can do that as well. Lovely. Alright, so to this game. So the Wood Elves are on the bottom of your screen. They are currently kicking the ball, which means the Necromantic team, who are a bunch of fearsome zombies, ghouls, and werewolves, because Blood Bowl is made up of all sorts of silly nonsense, are going to be trying to get the ball and stick it into the end zone. The wonders of technology, yes, Serikata. This is truly a great time to be alive. So, the ball is highlighted here in blue, and as you can see, it's currently surrounded by Necromantic players. The highlight players of the Necromantic team are these werewolves, or werewolves, one of which is got agility 4, which means they're very good at anything that involves hopping around the place, much like the elves are. But another one is only just been born into this world. They haven't leveled up using Blood Bowl's patented, extremely old-fashioned RPG leveling up system, which is honestly great. But I hope one day it will maybe get improved, because this game was designed a long time ago. So most likely will be a ghoul, while this friendly-looking fellow, Montcore, or Monticore possibly, who's going to come in and make a hit as, oh, hello, this is a zombie with tackle. They're going after Danny Dancer, the War Dancer. So if we had to turn our eyes to the Wood Elf team, they've got a lot of the sort of basic linemen, who are still pretty good. Hey Mizra, how you doing? We're back into Play-ins A. I hope things are going well with the Play-in C coverage, where Mizra is currently winning their first game. So we've got the basic guys, who are linemen. We've got the throwers, who, as you might expect, are capable of throwing the ball. We've got catchers, who are very good at catching the ball. And War Dancers, whose name doesn't really give a huge amount away. But hey, we've got our first foul today. So, ooh, darn it. Sean Demos already injured. What's it going to be? A badly hurt. And Cola Sanctus. Oh gosh, okay, so I need to do two things at once. So let's see. So Sean Demos is... Oh, that was quite a good player. That was a dodge wrestle player. Sanctos is a dirty player, so they have been sent off. And... Oh, actually... Let's see. So two of the zombies, Shooter Oh no, oh jeez. So Dozer and Aurelium, they are not currently in place. Let me just change up those team values to really reflect what's going on there. So currently on the pitch for the Necromantic team, 1320 against 1360. So Sean Demmer, so they just lost to that foul, had dodge and wrestle, making them a pretty good one. Yes, Mizra, I've been commentating with Caldegum a lot, but not actually seeing them play. Hey Kanuki, how's it doing? Well, how are you doing? How's it going? I don't know, it's been a long day today. I've got myself a tasty banana. So, excuse my eating sounds. Right, let's get back into the game itself now we've got that business out of the way. So we can see the War Dancer. So the War Dancer is a special player for the Wood Elf team. They've got block, they've got dodge, both skills that make you good at fighting. They've also got leap. And in this Lin Windy's case, they've got the rather esoteric skills of sidestep and shadowing, which basically means it's very hard to get rid of them. Misra, yes, I'm playing the Training Grounds. I'll be playing it tomorrow. I got a little bit confused with the time zone things. So I've been telling people I was playing at 4, but actually I'm playing at 6 tomorrow. At 6 tomorrow, I'll be playing the Training Grounds, Misra. I'll see how I do. I'm up against a Lizardman team, so that should be a good old time. Right, so what have we got going on here? So while the Wood Elves have managed to put some pressure onto the Necromantic team, some of this dice rolling is going a little bit sideways. Phantom of the Funeral? Funiel? I don't know if that's a misspelling, or if that's something that I don't know about. We'll get a hit in. So that's something else for any of you guys who may not be familiar with Blood Bowl. It's pretty much most actions involve some kind of rolling of dice. You have got rerolls in case those dice don't go in your favour. But as we can see from Shieldberry, who actually predicts... I asked the players what their predictions were for this game, and Shieldberry predicted it was going to be 2-1 to the Elves, whereas Caldegum reckoned it was going to be 2-all. So I like this from Shieldberry, is they're really going out of their way to try and focus down these War Dancers. Normally, if you don't have tackle, they're very hard to knock over, but this zombie does have tackle, Tiger of Sabrok. Not really sure why, but they do. So they're spending... Shieldberry's spending every turn trying to get a clobbering in. Midnight Messiah, who's the werewolf with agility 4, is spending a lot of time on a nap at the moment, which is a bit alarming, because Midnight Messiah is the best player on the Shieldberry team, I suppose with the exception of Tigers out of Sabrod. Yes, the hero zombie, the only player with tackle, and the only one really capable of taking down a War Dancer, because every time you roll dice against them, someone who's got block and dodge, you basically have to roll 6s on d6. And that's a pretty tough thing to pull off. So, at the end of the second round of play, the Necromantic team, they've got themselves a decent coverage here, though with a rather large hole here, which someone could get in and make a hit on our poor little ball carrier. We'll see what happens. Certainly a likely player to try for it is Danny Dancer, who's got Strip Ball, which means that if they manage to... Well, let's go and read it exactly. So if you push or defend a stumble, so if you hit the other person and move them in any fashion... Oh, hello. Okay. Then they'll drop the ball. But there is an interesting play there. So this is one of the players from the Wood Elf team that has a rather strange selection of skills. This is a catcher, and they have got themselves block and sidestep. That's fairly standard, but also diving tackle, which means any player who attempts to leave the space next to this catcher will potentially have a -2 to their dice roll, making it very much more risky. Not a common skill to see, but it does mean that Tarzan Tim needs to be hit. And quite likely, they'll stick around because they've got both block and dodge. So, I don't know if they're going to be a major factor in this game, but they'll be very annoying. The problem with the zombie, Mr. says, is the lack of block, so blitzing a War Dancer has basically 2 skulls in its rolls. Yes, so normally, if they've got block and you haven't, then you are in for a bit of a rough time. It is a big risk from Shieldberry's side, and I think that style of play is why Shieldberry is down at 1 reroll already, they are taking higher risks than maybe they need to. Let's see, so we're on the Wood Elf side. We could see a move up of this player with... Let's see. So the War Dancers have got the leap skill, which of course I am very familiar with as a Kislev coach, which lets them just boink, joint over spaces. Like this, for example. Boink. Which means that even if there's somebody in between, it actually doesn't matter at all. So they could use that to go for something shenanigans-wise here. So we might see Derek, who has got guard, moved up. Okay, no, it's going to be a leap in. Nicely done. And a one dice block, and it's a hit, and it's going to be a takedown. So that is very nice. Yes, Mizra's right. The whole thing with using this tackle zombie is... Oh, nice. A palpable hit. So that is the ball carrier knocked over. The ball is now free for the Wood Elves to go grab for themselves. So demonstrating why it's very, very dangerous to leave a corner of the cage open. Though in this particular case, it wasn't that caused the problem. It was this leaping War Dancer who was able to get that one dice block, which went so very well. Okay, so Necromantic team, they're in a bit of trouble. We've got a Juan Sancho who can go and grab the hold of the ball. I think that's what I'm going to do. So elves, unlike regular humans, pretty reliable at doing most things that involve agility, which is dodging, picking up balls, and generally making a nuisance of themselves. Though, in theory, the Necromantic team should be better at clobbering. Therakata, yes, just elf things. Indeed, it's going to be very tricky for the Necromantic team to get the ball back at this point, because a lot of the players who would be tasked with chasing down other players are otherwise occupied. So Lupus Day is, kind of caught up in the middle here, and Midnight Messiah is stuck next to this diving tackle player, which is going to make it very hard for them to get away, even if they could then get rid of Leafy Pine, who's providing another obstacle in the way of Midnight Messiah getting up and doing something a bit more relevant. We've got a good cage on, well, I say cage, good catch on the white and the zombie of the Necromantic team here by the War Dancer and the lineman. So, yeah, Caldegum's doing pretty well. So, bear in mind that neither of the coaches playing can hear us, so this is one of the occasions in which I feel more than free to provide critique of both players' play, and I'll definitely let you know what you think about that. One of the big things for me coming into REBBL was that I feel like I need to learn a lot when it comes to how to, about different teams which I've never played. I've never played a Wood Elf team. I've barely played Necromantic. So I've got tons to learn, and I'd love to hear what you guys have to think. So let's see. Let's look at potential turns for our Necromantic friends. So I could see a block going through here, though there's very likely that he'll just end up sidestepping to here. Oh, well, there you go. That is a palpable hit. So this is pretty big news for our Necromantic player, because they've got a plus agility werewolf, and that wolf could conceivably go for some silly nonsense like going oh wait, they can drop. So they could go here and get a hit onto the ball carrier. They don't have anyone to make that not a 2 dice block, so it's a real desperation play, but I think they're actually already in a position where they could well be running out of good options. Okay, it's going to be one hit. And another hit as well. That's not ideal, because Frenzy, though it allows you to get the second hit, does force the follow-up. I think we're going to see the wolf dodge away, but nope, that is going badly. That's a 1 in 6, and it's the 1. So it's going to force either a reroll use here, which will put down Shield Barrier to no rerolls, and it's not going to be the quit. Not going to be the commit. Too committed, too quitted. Alright. So the Wood Elves are left more or less in position to just score whatever they like. Also, Midnight Messiah has been stunned, so they'll be out for an additional turn. So basically, it's not going great for our friends, the Necromantic team, who possibly, based on this early play, were right to make a rather cynical prediction that they were about to lose the game before it even started. Still though, if Midnight Messiah levels up and gets dodge, they're going to be one absurd player. Alright, so for Shieldberry, their two major choices here are either try and score straight away and potentially get the chance to steal the ball again, or stall out far away from where the Necromantic team are. It's going to be a handoff to Alan Magazine, who is currently unskilled catcher. So it looks like Caldegun will be looking to try and funnel some SVP onto some of their less experienced players, which makes sense. As far as the rest of the field goes, I think the Elves are quite likely just going to be dodging away, or at least getting in the way, as we are set up for a decent hit here. I think it's going to be a 2-dice block onto Headless Cross's zombie. Of course, we've actually got a guard elf here as well. It's worth noting for Red Hides the Blood, they've actually got 2 guard linemen, which is unusual. Had to roll the doubles on the level up to be able to get that. So the Elves do have an opportunity to get some fairly substantial hits in, though none of them have been able to get any, for instance, Mighty Blow, but maybe they don't need it. Oh my gosh! Headless Cross! They're dead. They failed to regenerate. Alright, well, we don't need to worry about them anymore. Let's see, Headless Cross, where are ya? Where are ya? There we go. He did. Alright. Oh, and if you guys would like to see what I'm working from today, in terms of all the team values and all that kind of stuff, I will send a link to the chat if you'd like to follow along. Regeneration is a fake skill. That's a hot take, Mr. Frazzlelaz, but it can certainly feel like that's the case. Yes, a 50% chance to ignore all injury in some games feels ridiculously broken. In other games feels like, because you've got no agency over that choice, it feels like a skill that literally does nothing at all. Misra, you would have fouled the AG Wolf with all the players you have available, but you are a bad person. I think you would be the... Well, I wouldn't probably do it this turn. But if you're planning... If Shieldberry is planning on stalling out, then next turn, yes. Because it's quite likely you'll just end up getting another stun. So getting a stun on top of stun, I don't think it's that worthwhile. Though there's more of a chance the Necromantic team will be able to move their players up to cover their werewolf. So that opportunity may pass. So here is a Mighty Blow onto Marcus Lepine, who's got level up and accurate. No injury caused. But yes, I think Necromantic are probably going to go cover their werewolf just in case of shenanigans. Unfortunately, Cardinal Sin with Mighty Blow is a little bit short of being able to catch up with any of the players, apart from the guard lineman decides not to do so. Sericata, you would have fouled as well. I mean, getting rid of the werewolf is good, and you might not get the opportunity again. At this point, the importance of getting the werewolf off of the pitch, I think, is relatively minimal. Because in this particular half, at least, the werewolf is not going to stop you scoring. So they might as well be already dead. Oh, Frank Sancho. That's an injury. And it's a badly hurt. So I think it's the second badly hurt so far. Coming into this game, the Red Hides of Blood were missing a player as they get another knockdown onto Tars and Tim. They've only got AV7. And they're going to be injured as well. Oh boy. Oh, -1 movement. It's not... For the kind of player that they... Oh, they're using their Apothecary. Okay. They could have still been a playable player, but deciding that they want to keep them as part of this game. So the Apothecary... oh... I'm not sure what the result ended up being. I think it was either worse... Okay, oh boy. So I did have that thought coming into this one, that was an extremely dangerous player. Tarzan Tim. So Tarzan Tim is minus movement allowance. Yes, that is pretty rough stuff. Oh no, I think my chair's fallen to pieces. So if I disappear off screen, you'll know why. As another foul comes in, Venom of Venus. Alright, sent off as well. So down to 9 active players against 8. 1240 for the Necromantic team. 1120 for the Wells. Oh, really? Oh, yes, I just realised I've left those very much out of date. Miserable, the bust is a dead catcher, in your humble opinion. Well, that catcher was being used for marking purposes. I don't think that's a good idea, but that's what they were being used for. And losing one movement in that capacity doesn't stop them from being a marking catcher, except against the very fastest of players. It does make their shadowing a lot worse, because that's based on... how effective that is based on your movement. But it's still... I don't know. You're not an elf coach for sure. Elves are expensive. They're not as expensive as Kislev Blitzers, though. Each of those guys are about worth as much as a big guy by themselves. That's what we get for coming loaded with skills. Anyway, so Necromantic team, they have at least got Lupus Day in position to maybe do something. Midnight Messiah doesn't look like they're going to get fouled anytime soon. I'm not sure how we feel about where we are right now, because, let's see. We've had a dodge wrestle and a dodge lineman, both getting badly hurt. We've had Tarzan Tim, who is the sort of specialized player, and I think the highest level player on the Red Heights of Blood squad, getting injured as well. So, goes in a hit, reroll. That's a pretty big thing to do for an unleveled werewolf, but... yeah, Kanuki, Underworld Goblins are 100% disposable. Yes, I think that's fair, but they're also worth 40k gold, whereas I think the catchers are worth quite a lot more than that, as well as all the levels. It's a tough decision, though, and one of the great things about playing in an Eternal Blood Bowl league like REBBL, is you get to make those kind of painful decisions again and again. For Shieldberry, I'm not sure about the attempted stall here, because... I mean, sure, you're going to stop there being a return score, but I don't get the impression that the Shieldberry squad isn't necessarily particularly adept at scoring quickly, except, I suppose, on the werewolves, but as it is, I think they could probably mount a decent defense. I guess it was somewhat lucky that Kaldagam got hold of the ball in the first place, because that was based on a 1 dice block. Though it would have worked fine on a both down as well. Alright, back over to Shieldberry. So that does mean the Star Wolf, Midnight Messiah, will be back up and part of play once again. It does also mean that Cardinal Sin with Mighty Blow will get another chance to get a decent hit in. Expect to see them get some sort of assist to be able to do that. But I figure if you're the Necromantic coach, you really just want to be getting in as much or as many hits with your Mighty Blow as possible. So we've got a very, very out of position Flesh Golem down here, and Monticore, the Ghoul, who has taken losing the ball a little bit badly, just hanging out. I don't think there's anyone else that we've missed. Oh yes, there is. Tommy Shooter Chicks. What are they doing down here? I presume either they've been forgotten about, or they are there to try and stop any kind of ball stealing into pitch throwing shenanigans, which I don't know if that's going to happen. But hey, you never know. I mean, with a plus agility player, it's always hard to say for sure. Alright, Midnight Messiah, up with the Blitz, gets that second hit with 2 dice. Would be extremely lucky not to get a knockover. We'll manage it. I expect to see them go over here. There we go. And probably moving up to base one of the elf players, I suspect. No? Just going to hold off? Okay. I do feel like basing elf players who've got dodge almost feels like a waste of time, because of how unlikely it is they're going to fail to dodge away. But, I mean, it's going to happen 1 in 36 times, so I suppose it's something. I have got to get a different desk. This is a very tricky one. And I think it's... I've had this desk for way too long. Right. So, Mighty Blow did not get used. The Wood Elf screen remains intact, improbably enough. I think at this point, if I am Shield Barrier, I'm probably hoping that I'm going to be able to get some more elves down. But let's see. Mizra, you don't like the claw blitz, you prefer the mighty blow white all the time for a casual blitz. Yes, me too. I mean, let's see. So these players, yes, they have got AV7. So the claw isn't doing anything for your ability to injure them. Whereas the mighty blow would be a lot more effective. As I was saying, I would have liked to see Cardinal Sin, who is the best offensive player on Shield Barrier's squad, be hitting every turn. Especially when you've got players like this lineman who has got guard as Tiger of Sabrok. Going to be out of here. That's the kick player for the Saints gone well. Goodbye. Yes, mighty blow every time, all the time, in all the places. No, it's not tackle that's gone, it's kick, though. I would love to double check that's the case. See, which side are we looking at? Oh no, you're right. That is Tiger of Sprod. Oh no, you. I just put it in wrong. Okay, there we go. Let's change that over to tackle. Who's the kick guy? Is there a kick guy? I'm making it up. No, that's right, Mizra. I think I was the one who was mistaken, not you. Let's see. So that, yes, that is tackle. That's the boot. Oh, maybe there just isn't a kick player. Oh no, here we go. That was dirty player Colas Sanctus. Okay, there we go. A lot of the icons are very similar. What do you guys think about the icon pack which you can download, which changes all of the icons into letters? Because a lot of the icons for Blood Bowl 2 are really not very distinct from each other. But also, the icon pack is pretty ugly, honestly. Hey Shinsuke, how you doing? We're covering today some of the Reddit Blood Bowl League's play-ins, which is what you get before a playoffs. These are some of the lower division teams which have won their divisions and so got the chance to play with the big teams in the playoffs themselves. Just confusing in a different way. I'm thinking maybe I could download the icons and maybe tweak them around to look a little bit less unappealing, because they are just so bare bones at the moment that I think maybe I could just do my own icons. Like, just follow the instructions and then make icons for myself, which I think if I just took the existing icons and changed the colours on some of them, then that would be fine. So Shinsuke, I'm not playing this game. This is Caldegum and Shieldberry. I'm covering it. There we go. It wasn't a completely forgotten about player. Who is that down there? Tommy Shooter. Chicks, just hanging out. As the time wears down. Mizra, you're okay with these icons? You find them more confusing with letters, but you guess it's only habit. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. There are some of the skills which are okay, like regeneration, for instance. That doesn't really, like, it's hard to... I think there's a couple of different problems with the Blood Bowl icons. Some of them are okay, like Guard is okay, he doesn't look like anything else. He doesn't really... I mean, it looks like a shield, it's okay, it's somewhat vaguely looks like what it's supposed to be. But some of the other stuff, like Tackle, for instance, that's just a foot. I feel like there was a more complicated icon at some point, but they just went with sticking a foot out, which by itself just isn't enough. And especially when the backgrounds are all the same as... Oh, hello. An ambitious dodge there is going to be re-rolled, as it's the Mighty Blow player who's going to go stand next to the ball carrier but not blitz them. Is that going to be Phantoms? That was confusing. Hanuki, Happy Days, sweet potato fries, and sriracha mayo. Frazzledaz? Was it a mistake? Apparently not. Okay. Well, alright, Alan and Magnuson is going to be out of there. They have been KO'd. There's, of course, no Apothecary. And that is going to mean the ball goes off of the pitch again, and off the pitch again. No, not quite. Onto the hands of the War Dancer and dropping down. So, That's... For Shieldberry, that's a little bit of a heartbreaker, because that was the best case scenario combined with the worst case scenario. Which is that they successfully managed to get the ball off the pitch, but now it just bounced basically straight back into the hands of the Wood Elves, as Flesh Golem fails to make the going for it. So the Wood Elves, I imagine, they almost got themselves caught out there. I like from Shieldberry, they did take the long road around. They didn't do what I expected, which was just go directly at the ball carrier. They came around the side, they managed to find their way in, get a 2-die splits, and it's unfortunate because even if the ball would say here rather than here, it would be at least a little bit hard to pick it up. As it is now, it's pretty trivial for the Elves to grab it. Probably going to be on Danny Dancer. There we go. Because they will level up as a result of scoring. Surely not. Are you going to stall again? After you've just lost the ball on the line of scrimmage. Mizra, you were curious to see if Calagum stalls here. I was as well. I mean, they will be able to protect the ball pretty well. We're going to have probably Elves here and here. But at this point, you're only fighting for 2 Necromantic turns. Turn 7, turn 8. They're not going to score. So this feels very unnecessary. I think this is probably what the reason is to just get another hit onto the werewolf. But, I don't know. Trust in Blodge? I don't think it's likely, to be fair, that Shieldberry is going to get another hit onto the ball carrier. Because now this kind of line of approach is going to be cut off entirely. I mean, it's sensible from Windy, the War Dancer, not standing in the end zone, but standing next to it. In fact, has got sidestep, because so could totally just stand in the end zone if it wanted to. We'll cut off any play through from there. 2 turns is enough for Necro scoring back. Mizra, what would they have to do? Presumably they'd have to get some sort of shoves in. I know the Ghoul has got movement 7. So, actually, I should really remember how many squares are in a half. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Okay, no, you're fair enough. 2 turns is enough for a scorer. As a dodge goes a little bit sideways, so that's a roll of a 1 into a roll of a 6. I think probably what we're likely to see is that this particular player, Derek, is going to get clobbered, and Mighty Blow will be used onto someone, probably Leafy. Kanuki saying that Caldam could hold out to turn 8 and make the tackle zombie harder to come back from the KO. That is fair. That is legitimate. We certainly saw Shieldberry using the tackle zombie extensively. So there's every reason to think if that tackle zombie comes back again, that they will be used in a similar fashion. And while it hasn't really turned into anything much as of yet, eventually it probably could do. So, okay. Well, I think you've got to go for Matthias Leafy Pine with the Mighty Blow and an assist from a Flesh Golem, because if you don't, if you try and do it on a Blodge player, you're probably just not going to knock them over. Whereas this is at least a somewhat valuable player who has no defensive skills whatsoever. I don't think you're ever getting to the ball ever again. So that's certainly my play. But do guys let me know if there's something I'm missing. So we've got this assist moving in. There we go. And you can always end up next to the War Dancer. So there's the knockover. Doesn't turn into anything, unfortunately. There's very few actually extra players now. We've got 2 zombies in the reserves, 1 KO'd, and let's see, are these all zombies? Yeah, they're all zombies which have been sent off or injured. Wait, are we going to see a foul? Surely not. Yeah, at this point, Shieldberry has run out of extra players to be able to make fouls with, so that's not going to happen. Caldagum, probably just going to hold off for another turn. They can dodge away with most of this stuff. We've got, dodge player here. We've got a... I don't think there's any way Leafy gets fouled, so you can leave him on there. We can just move up the rest of the elves to cover the box. Make sure there's no way of getting in a blitz. The plus agility werewolf does mean that anything's kind of possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you could probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You could, if you're willing to dodge through tackle zones, you could get a blitz onto the ball carrier. I wonder if there will be a move down of one of these players to cut off that potential play. Because while it's unlikely to work out, it's not impossible, and that, at this point, Caldagum is got to be very aware, especially from before, that stalling out is never a guaranteed thing. So, okay, this is probably going to make a difference. Yeah, so that player seals off that play. I mean, no players ever truly sealed off for a coach who's willing to just throw themselves wildly into the middle of everything. Actually, moving Danny Dancer out further, it's going to make them more vulnerable, not less, I suspect. 2 guards for Woodies is massive, yes. And that's why I do think that focusing down the guard players with Mighty Blow, if at all possible, is a prudent strategy. Is interesting. The Wood Elves really... Okay. There's a pretty good chance someone ends up standing next to the ball carrier next time, which is still pretty unlikely to have go really wrong. But let's see. So if we Mighty Blow this guy with guard, say, here. I mean, double guard is quite hard to deal with. Okay. Yeah, I think one of these guard players who have no other defensive skills should be the focus in terms of just getting in, trying to cause another casualty. Those guys would maybe be worth fouling if there were more zombies going around. Unfortunately, there's the only dead players on the Necromantic team, otherwise there would be more zombies. Now there's an idea. What about a special play card that lets you turn one of your opponent's injured members into a temporary zombie? Alright, there we go. It's on the guard player. It's only a stun, but it does get a player next to the ball carrier. So the 2 guard will make it, or rather 1 guard now, I suppose, will make it fairly trivial to get back out of there again for the Wood Elf team. But hey, it's all good. So we'll get a lot more basing, and then imagine that Caldagum's turn will literally just be dodge, score. I guess for Caldagum they have actually got a reroll, so they might well just take the 2-die block trying to push Cardinalson away. I can't remember what the odds are in terms of blocking without block versus someone with block, but I actually imagine they aren't that great. So maybe just doing a dodge with dodge is better. Blitz and maybe dodge plus score. Yeah. I think you've got better odds of just dodging and scoring here than you do of making a successful hit. Oh, okay. So Danny Dancer, who's the one who's already got the ball. Ooh. Gets a hit, gets a miss next game, but it's regenerated. This is fine. Alright, I want to adjust the TV. Terracotta, the regen stories of its fatitude were apparently greatly exaggerated. So that's 1-0 at the end of the first half for Red Hides the Blood. That's Caldagum stalling out and almost losing the ball. I think a little bit of a fluke. Holding on to the ball there when it bounced back. The crowd threw it back in basically at the feet of the Wood Elven players. Oh, I see, Mizra. So that's the reason for blitzing. Fair enough. Yes, it would have been a dodge if the blitz hadn't been successful. So 3 dead and injured Wood Elf players. 1 KO'd one who's not going to be coming back. That's 2 sent off and 1 dead zombie. 1 KO'd who is also not going to be coming back. Okay. Could have fairly easily dodged that AG doggo through to mark the other side. Yes, I think it felt like there was probably something of that nature at play. So let's see. So we're going to have No Choi Dozo and Fabalian Orglinarin coming back in to put the Necromantic team up to 10 players and 1260 team value. Let's see, and for the Wood Elves, so let's see, we've got Tarzan Tim, Sean Demos, and Frank Sancho out, and Alan KO'd as well. So that leaves the Wood Elves at a not particularly healthy 1030 team value. Okay, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So, in the good news for Caldegum, even though they're going to have to kick the ball, we are down to a 7-player Wood Elf roster. So there's more of a possibility that the Wood Elves could lose enough members to make it possible to steal the ball back. Not having the tackle player back in the mix means that the only realistic chance of taking down one of these War Dancers is going to be the Frenzy block, because it lets you have a second shot to roll those 6s. They can handle the match in 7. Sorry, what do you mean, Mizra? Pronouns, they're confusing. Hello to our referee. How are you doing over there? On the sidelines, making sure you keep yourself nice and topped up with all manner of marvellous things. Actually, yeah, I was watching other people's streams, and I think a more upwardly facing view is actually a little bit clearer, because the icons don't obscure the players quite as much as they do normally. Oh, I see, Mizra, you were saying the Wood Elves can handle the match as a 7. Yes, very much so. Especially when that 7 includes 2 dodge players. So that is both of the catchers removed. So the passing game for the Wood Elves is somewhat limited, and I suspect that now means that Caldegum's going to be probably trying to get the ball onto a War Dancer. War Dancer. And just run it up the pitch. Didn't the Wood Elves steal? Yes, they did, Kanuki. Thanks to a leap and a 1-dice blitz, they got hold of the ball and ran it out. Mizra and Necro would have a harder time if they were a 7. Yes, very much so. Well, we saw that in a little bit from the end of the last game, where you ran out of zombies, so there was no more fouling. Whereas heavy fouling, I think, is going to be the order of the day here. For Shieldberry, it's going to be up for them to see if they can deal with the Elven Moving Fortress, which is 2 players with guard, and then a Blodge player probably carrying the ball. That's going to be very, very tough to deal with. So all they have to do is not let the Necro... So yes, so clearly saying the Wood Elves just need to prevent the Necromantic team from scoring, or indeed score themselves, as this is a Blodge White. So not the most optimal of first targets, but Phantom of the Funeral, that Blodge hasn't come into play up until this point, really. Mizra, would you prefer to score stall as long as possible rather than scoring a quick 2-0? I don't know about that, Mizra. I mean, we're kind of in the middling position. The Wood Elves aren't so damaged they can't afford to stall at all, but they are... It's not going to cost them nothing to be able to do that. If they do stall, they're going to get, with the numbers disadvantage, the Necromantic team... For Shieldberry, they were a little bit hesitant in the previous game. They didn't seem like they wanted to try and base the Elves. Whereas now, with the numbers advantage, I think they're much more likely just to leave all of their guys in contact with the Elves and force dodges. Kanuki would go for a quick score. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's a right, or specifically right or wrong answer. The 2 guards being brought back here is a little strange, because I think they're both going to get marked by flesh golems, and then with some zombies as well. Alright, so ball has been picked up. Levy with the play. It's going to step far back. Let's do an imitation of the high elf throw. So it seems like the guards are being kept back to hold the center for the Wood Elf team, while the rest of the squad advances up this side. I'm not totally convinced that this kind of defensive formation is really that worthwhile, but I'm not a Wood Elf coach, so... Mizra, you'd be scared of the 2 wolves. Move an 8 and they can score back-to-back turns, so that's why you stall, unless it becomes too risky. Yeah, that's fair enough, especially... I fully expect to see Midnight Messiah. In fact, so the big problem for the werewolves is while they are extremely agile, they tend to be by themselves a lot of the time. So I think Montecore is the ghoul is gonna need to accompany Midnight Messiah. Okay, yeah, so this is what I thought was happen. The Necromantic team, they're going to base as many of the elves as possible for some dodges, because there's no way the elves can make favourable blocks in all of these situations here. And probably send the wolf and the ghoul round the side to start threatening the ball. And that's exactly what does happen. I like that positioning there. It stops the Wood Elves from easily dodging away, at least in the case of Lynn Windy. I expect we'll see the Mighty Blow coming into play once again. And let's see. Oh, that's right, this was the injury that was regenerated. Oh, alright. Gonna go after the dodge player. A little bit unfortunate there. Not following up. Interesting. Okay. So it looks like Shieldberry's prioritizing keeping Cardinal's Sin free for a block next turn rather than sort of following up and keeping Mr. Sinister holding the left-hand flank. But with these other players here, it's going to be very hard to get more assists in, so I guess it's fair enough. Also, of course, of Flesh Golems with Stand Firm, in this case block as well, and dodge. I didn't even notice that, Mr. Sinister. Yeah, block, dodge, stand firm. That is ridiculous, player. Right side is now fully open. Yes, that's very much the case. Absolutely tons of rumours. The 2 dice block goes appallingly. So that's the reroll burn for the turn. So, for the Wood Elves, they probably going to delay their plans for a turn there, because without the reroll, anyone who's going to dodge, anyone who's going to pass, is going to be tremendously more risky at this point. The War Dancers with built-in dodge will be able to carry on doing shenanigans, and that's exactly what they will do. As you call it, Kanuki, the right-hand side totally open, able to be advanced into and set up Elf Fort 2000. Lynn Windy is probably the only player who's really in an awkward position, because if they dodge, they're going to be dodging into a tackle zone, and then maybe a couple of times after that. So they might end up getting left there. I think the only problem here for the Wood Elves I can see is they've got to move the ball up, and that's going to probably involve sending it up this side and passing it. This could go wrong, but it doesn't. Okay, sure. So we have got a werewolf who's free. We've got a path for the agility wolf as well. I'm not sure I like this from Caldergun, unless I'm missing something here. Okay, there we go. Let's make life a little bit easier. So that cuts off. Does it actually cut off? If you're willing to dodge once, you still got a path onto the ball carrier for 1 dice blitz. If you're willing to. Let's see. Okay, so more elves are coming in. Yeah, the AG plus Agi Wolf, even, is definitely going to be able to get onto the ball carrier. I mean, certainly Caldergun was willing to take a 1 dice block, as there we go. There's the block off. So it's tremendously more difficult now to get onto the ball carrier. You're going to have to be dodging into 2 tackle zones, I guess, most likely. Alright, so base time. 1 more score here for Caldergun. And it's gonna be pretty much curtains for our Necromantic buddies. That score seeming like it's pretty much a foregone conclusion. 2+, 2+. Let's see. What can we do here? So, I think you've still got a reasonable line. You could go through here. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 1 going for it. I mean, that's some quite nasty dodges, but it's not hopeless by any means. Alright. I think that might even be... Alright, that's a KO'd guard piece, but not going to be a big difference maker in this game. Do you dodge to get next to the ball carrier? You have now opened up the ability for Fabillion Orglarian to move in and mark the ball carrier. Yeah, well, those dice should have taken the sack. Yeah, so Kanuki, I'm not a huge fan of that, just because, I mean, sure, you've got rid of a player, but you're guaranteeing yourself a loss here. Whereas, I think getting the chance to hit the ball carrier at least opens the door for the possibility of winning. Alright, so nothing really being done to stop the Wood Elf War Lancer from just walking it in and making the score. There's a pretty trivial dodge, and there's the second score. The game pretty much guaranteed to be the Wood Elves now. It seemed like Shieldberry was more on point with their prediction of the 2-1 to the Wood Elf team than Caldaghan was, who predicted a 2-2. Though anything could happen, I suppose. So, we're down to currently 6 players for the Wood Elves, but they are going to be getting back one of their KOs for the Necromantic team. They will not be getting back theirs. So, who is that KO? It's either the guard player. No, it's not the guard player. It is going to be Alan Magidson. So, welcome back, Alan. So, back up to 7 players. 10-20 on the Wood Elf front. Yeah, Kanuki, I think we're all of the same mind that that blitz, while it KO'd a player, and I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world, it ultimately didn't affect the game in any meaningful way. Looking back across this match, it does feel a little bit like Shieldberry was aware that they just, you know, because they just don't have tackle really, except on that zombie, that they are going to struggle to knock down the War Dancers, and I think they've maybe taken that to mean that they can't, rather than they should keep trying until eventually they do. Because, yeah, just sort of seeding the touchdown there. I mean, I don't know, it feels a little bit like Shieldberry kind of came into this one expecting a loss. Kanuki, you think the Agility Wolf could have been used better? I think that they haven't been used a whole lot for a player that's got an amazing world of possibilities that they haven't really done too much. And at this point, for Shieldberry, so we're in the play-in stage. You need to be amongst the top 2 teams to have had a rewarding outcome. What are we going to do here? Probably pass the elf to start things off. I think the Agi Wolf might pick the ball up, but he's also one of your block players. You probably want the Wolf to also be hitting someone. In which case, I think it's probably got to be the Ghoul who will then hand it off eventually to Lupus Day. Alright, so we've got the pass the elf play set up. That's fine. Okay, one more scatter on the wall. Yes, Mizra. Again, I don't think there's going to be too much argument on the whole. Should hit every single time with the Mighty Blow player. I think that's just going to be the way it is. So that last half, starting off with 7 elf players, we're now into the last part of the game, and it's still 7 elf players. So questions do have to be asked about what the, you know, how effective the blocking game has been here for the Necromantic team. But they're at least getting the chance to finally get their hands on some players. There's a Mighty Blow hit, and there we go. Shooter is out of there with a KO. Alright, so that's down to 950. And 6 players. Yeah. No, it's like, as I said, I don't think anyone's going to be disagreeing with you that they're hitting every single time with the Mighty Blow player. pretty solid as far as strategy goes. I do note that the ball has not really been left in an ideal position protection-wise, so we could even be seeing a 3-0. I think we're going to be seeing the Ghoul picking up the ball and then a blitz from the plus AG Werewolf. Though on who I'm not totally sure. But then the Wood Elves are able to just move up and start threatening the ball. Admittedly, if the Wood Elves do go after the ball, they are leaving themselves no defensive capability whatsoever. There's a block. Doesn't turn into anything. I have a weird idea that Midnight Messiah is going to be receiving a pass? I don't know. Alright, so there's the ball pickup. So for Shieldberry, it's a fairly trivial matter, I know I've been overusing that phrase a bit, to score against the Wood Elf defense, assuming there's no more shenanigans with leaping in and getting hold of the ball again. Though this doesn't fill your confidence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so a little out of range, just out of range of, not out of range of getting marked though. Yeah, Kanuki, you're right. It doesn't seem like the Necromantic team is going for the draw. Which, I mean, I guess is fair enough. But the Elf team, the players on the front line are the ones with dodge, so they're going to get away. The actual juicy Elf players are being kept back for the time being as... Oh, hello. Apparently Caldegum is looking to do a favour for everybody else in this particular players division and try and go after the plus AG Wolf as often and as messily as possible. I mean, it's... At this point for Caldegum, it doesn't feel like there's a huge amount at stake for them in trying to take out the werewolf. In terms of... Sorry, there's not a huge amount of upside. Maybe it's a better way of putting it. I mean, sure, if the werewolf gets injured or killed here, it removes the chance of a scoring threat, but the chances, I think, of Shieldberry scoring twice seem pretty minimal. Let's see. So, Minstrel, they still have time. Scoring in turn 13 and 3 turns to get the ball back and score again. Not easy but possible. Yes. I mean, we've seen Caldegum, I think, a coach after my own heart, being cautious to the point of overcaution, I suppose, by stalling out for as long as they did. But I suppose it's kind of a weird combination of being very cautious because of wanting to stall, but also not being cautious by choosing to stall a second time after losing the ball for the first time. So I don't know, guys. Well, I don't know. Let's see. So the ball probably moves up the pitch. I mean, right now, this center can move up pretty much at will. I'm guessing we're going to see the elf domino defense somewhat. Yeah, kind of. So we've still got a path through the center here. Though, with the... I think maybe you give the ball to the white if you're trying to score. So there's the double going for it. This is the shadowing player. Serracata, was that a smiley face? Maybe. Maybe. Okay, so I think that War Dancer is going to get blitzed. They are a sidestepping War Dancer, so I think trying to knock them over is a little bit ambitious. Okay. Yeah. Alright. At least you don't have diving tackle, I suppose. Man, a sidestep shadowing diving tackle player. Now that's a way to drive someone mad. Alright, so if we're looking for an instant score, we're probably handing off to a to Phantom and then legging it up the pitch. I think that's a more reliable way of scoring than trying to injure the elves is here, because as we're seeing, it's literally a one blitz per turn kind of affair in terms of actually getting hits in. So you're not getting that many opportunities if you're Shieldberry here to even farm SCP from hitting stuff. And especially when that thing that you're hitting is a blodge player when you don't have tackle. I have a feeling that this movement pattern is... I'm not sure. I'm not sure what Shield Bearer is going for here. I mean, certainly the Saints Gone Wild have got really good players. You know, a Blodge Flesh Column is insane. Okay, we're going to be seeing Shadowing for a while, so... Dodge hasn't been used. It's only 72%. This is very silly. I'm glad we're finally getting to the point of the league where skills like Shadowing are actually really a thing. There we go, Shadowing finally stopped. I don't think we're going to see a handoff here because the cage has been built at this point. Bear in mind, there's no sure hands on the Shield Berry squad, so Strip Ball from Danny Dancer is going to probably get the ball onto the ground. I mean, you've got a cage, but it's not going to stop the Wood Elf from leaping in. Of course, not cool enough to have a leaping guard player, unlike the civilized teams of Kislev who drink tea with their fingers stuck out like this while through the air, because apparently they're British and not Russian knockoffs, as you would think. This player, the zombies really look like the referee from a glance. Alright, so there's the marking on the two players. So we're going to be seeing a leap onto this particular space. So probably from here to here. Donked. We might have a couple of players marking there and there to stop the ball. You would have put the Edge Dog in scoring range. Yeah, I think that's fair enough. Putting them behind the cage seems a little unambitious. As oh, there we go. Alright then. So I'm assuming this War Dancer is going to make a run for it. Maybe... I guess you just go straight up here. Gotta watch out for the frenzy, but... Yeah, so stay away from the edge of the pitch. But... Misery bloody elves! I mean, having the ball on a player who didn't have Blodge is always going to be a bit tricky. The ball scatters in this game for Caldegum have been extremely good. Like, that going directly onto the War Dancer was absurd. The ball getting thrown out of the pitch and then getting thrown next to the Dancer is also very lucky. I don't think this is by any means a game that Caldegum has won primarily by luck, but luck has certainly helped this be a 3-0 rather than a 2-0. We'll see. That's definitely not a completely safe elf player by any means. Yeah, dancers are always scary. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so elves moving up to defend. Going for it goes sideways. Gets reroll. Okay, so that will seal off the ball carrier. Well, does it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Leafy, goodbye. Down to 5 players. And 840 team value. Still though, the elves, I mean, they've got the players where they need to be, which is all the way around the ball. At this point, all thoughts of winning, I think, are gone as... Okay. Trying to force a dodge. Or maybe just a leap. From the War Dancer. So they can't dodge away. At least not that easily. Oh, I see. It's going to be, ooh, a skillless block against a Lodge player. They're asking a lot, but... Ooh, hello! Okay, well, finally the scatter dice go in the favour of Shieldberry, and the ball is in it too. The plus agility, woof, 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 woof. So that's good times. We've got a couple of players to move up here. So while I don't see this ending favourably for Shieldberry, it's looking like they might now be on course to actually fulfill their prophecy of the 1-2 loss. Which makes you wonder if Shieldberry had maybe predicted themselves to win the game, maybe their mentality would have been a little bit better. And they, yeah, if they could predict themselves successfully a 2-1 loss. And, oh, hello, it's going to be a completely naked block onto the War Dancer. If this gets it stunned, this is pretty major. It does not, but it also doesn't get it stunned off either, so... Potato, potato. Alright, there's a pretty good chance this wolf does not... Yeah, let's not get out of this one successfully. There we go. Clonked. The ball goes well. Ends up in a bit of an awkward spot, but you can always leap over there, I suppose, if you need to. Save yourself a bit of movement. No, just going to go the old-fashioned way. Oh, not even actually going off the ball. Okay. So in which case, I think it's going to be Juan Sancho who goes for dodge, dodge, ball grab, leg it. And that's exactly what does happen. Nice try, Zambo! Yes. So in this half, in big contrast to the other half, Shieldberry is actually ending out the game with all of their rerolls intact. So I wouldn't have at all minded to have seen an attempt to dodge Lupus Day, a way to get them in a better position to cover the Midnight Messiah. As it is... Ooh, hello. That was a roundabout way together. But successful. Alright, so guys, chat. Is it going to be 3-0? Is it going to be 2-1? Or is it just going to be 2-0? I think 2-0 is or 3-0 is probably the only realistic potential options here. I hope I don't have to go up against a AG4 block dodge wolf, because that's going to be pretty nasty. Though I still think that Shieldberry hasn't been aggressively AG4ing around the place. Frazzledaz, you think it's going to be 3-0? I think you're probably right. The Misra, it's going to be 2-3. Oh my gosh, are there going to be riots on every single kickoff? Because if so, I'm on board for this. Okay, so if you want to dodge into 2, then a free dodge. I mean, that's not even that bad for an AG4 player. I mean, if you're desperate enough, which you obviously are, then you'll take it. Misra, you're an optimistic guy. Well, you're in the right place. We're all about being optimistic when we're playing the most soul-crushing of games, known as Blood Bowl. You never know, it might work out. You never know. Alright, so what are we going to see? Probably it's going to be one of the wolves. I can't... Yeah, an unleveled werewolf is a very sad thing to see because of how just bleeding ineffective it is. Very similar to a lot of the other Blitzer players where they just are fairly rubbish without block. But, I mean, the extra movement over any of the other sort of blitzing pieces is a big deal. It's going to be the no skills blocker again. Okay. Alright, so didn't want to go for the dodges, went for the both down. Does mean the ball is a little awkward for the L's to get hold of. Not terrifically so. I think we might well see a clobber of Fabelian or Galarian before just grabbing the ball and scoring again. Who would want to do it? It's probably going to be Windy, who's the closest to leveling up again. I mean, you could leap and grab the ball right now. And then just dodge. Okay, no, it's going to be the blitz. Okay, well that works out pretty well. Ooh, I'm not sure I like that though. Okay, well, I mean, not punished for it, but the ball could have easily gone here or here, and that would have been pretty bad. Blitzer Zombo. That's exactly what did happen. Misra adds. Then Serikata, it worked, so it must have not been a bad idea. I don't know what's going on in this game. Alright, so it's another Alpha out of play. I'm not going to bother keeping track of team buys anymore, actually. We know what we've got on the pitch. We've got 4 elves and a whole bunch of necromantic people who've not been able to get past. So the greed is punished, so that was a... It was a straight... Oh, that's right, yes, it was a dodge rerolled into 1, so a double 1. Okay, so that's given up a 3rd score. Misra, most amused to see the mighty fallen. Well, I mean, it's not exactly really that big of a fall, it's just now the 3rd score is fairly unlikely. Alright. Ooh, Danny is going to get clobbered. The ball goes a bouncy bounce, bounce, bounce. Could have easily scored on either dancer. Yeah, I think that was a step. It felt like that was definitely a step too far. Especially now that I think Shieldberry is probably just going to start fouling players left, right, and centre. Because they've got very little to lose anymore. Caldegum is going to score on turn 16, Mitra. Yeah, that seems quite likely. Never mind the terrible decision to scatter. Yeah. Yeah, scattering the ball there just seemed completely unnecessary. It didn't make it... It only served to make it harder for the Wood Elves to pick up. Yes, Frazzled as I'm certain that was the attempted dodge was to do with spreading the SPP around, but even so, that didn't... Maybe that's why it was a scatter onto the ball, because if the zombie had been pushed, it would have stopped that other player from getting to it. Kanuki, you think because that bad play wasn't punished, it just emboldened? Leap fails? Pickup does fail. So, interesting fact for you guys. A War Dancer is only as reliable at leaping as an average Kislev player is. As, oh, hello. Windy will get injured. Okay, it's badly hurt. It's not that big a deal. Oh yes, we've also got a surf opportunity here as well. Not that it's going to help Shieldberry actually win, but that was, yeah, not bad at all. I think we might see a surf and a foul as well. I mean, there's a downed War Dancer. It's... The thing is, it doesn't make that much logical sense at this point to really be fouling Caldegum, because you want Caldegum to... Actually, I don't know. Okay, so we've got the Mighty Blow. Oh, nice. Derek gets injured as well. That's pretty big for Cardinal Sin, because that's going to push him closer to probably getting tackle or guard. I think you can tell that this is... Shieldberry's team is definitely a team in need of tackle, at least it would have been. I don't know if they'll actually need tackle too much. If Cardinal Sin gets MVP, I think they might get tackle for going up against the Lizardman team. Because it will make Cardinal Sin into an absolute skink murdering machine. Alright, so I think the last play of the game's got to be a gang foul onto Danny Dancer. I'm trying to think, so if... You probably do want to weaken Caldegum, actually, because you want them to... If they're going to beat you, you want them to then go on to lose their further games so that you can overtake them in the standings. So, we will be seeing that full-bodied foul. Oh, no, we won't be. It was instead just threatened. As... Oh, well, good news for Saints Gone Wild is that MVP goes to the Werewolf, making them close to scoring. Derek, who got... I didn't even realise they were injured. What did they get injured with? I can't remember. Gets the MVP, so gets closer to being a real player. Very nice. Yes. Kanuki, I think it was actually right to foul there, because you want Caldegon to lose their next games. You don't want them to win, because then they'll just win the league. Mizra, fouling never need a reason. You see, playing in the rank ladder, I've learned to appreciate how effective fouling can be, but in this context, it does make sense to try and weaken Red Hides of Blood. You don't want them to go on and win every game, because they will just win the league, and you won't be able to, because you've lost to them, and they're going to score a ton anyway. So Danny Dancer getting 10 SCP, that's not too shabby at all. For Saints Gone Wild, they came out of that one alright in terms of development. Kanuki, I'm not sure who you're agreeing with. If you're agreeing with fouling never needed a reason, or fouling for league standing. Either way, let's take a quick look at the statistics. So Saints Gone Wild, they really struggle in this game. Kanuki, just spite is a good enough reason. Fair enough. Fair enough. Foul, foul, foul. Well, shucks. So, guys, that's going to be it for tonight. So let's go and have a look at how the league itself is going. I think there's only one more match to play in Play-Ins Division A, which is, confusingly, not with the other play-ins. It's over here. No, is it? Where is it? Went the other way. Let's see, so we've got Division D, B, then A is somewhere else. And I keep forgetting where it is. There we are. Plans A. Kanuki, you're all done in C like after a day. Oh boy. Oh, and this is going to be a... Okay, so day one's already done for Division A as well then, as it turns out. Hey, Caldegon. Good job in the last game, though we were definitely giving you some flack for some of the play towards the game, to the end of the game. Consensus on how you played? I think you played it pretty well, though I think some of the decisions about later on were a little bit suspect. So I'm going to be playing tomorrow at 6 in my Training Grounds game, if anyone wants to come along and join that. But yeah. So let's have a look at the leaderboard. So I think How Good People Turn Evil is a real team. So they will get an admin win. Okay. Kia remains the highest TV team in the competition. Yes, Caldegon, we were trying to get SPP on the catcher. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, I see. That's why people are giving Hindu some lip for being an admin and giving themselves an admin win. Yes, Ben McSee didn't realise they got in through the ramp up because of Mizra qualifying through Division 5M. So that's a shame. But hey, I guess it makes the chances of any of you guys in play-ins Division A making it through to Challenger or the main play-ins that much more likely, so... Alright, but yes, again, tomorrow at 6 o'clock United Kingdom time, I'll be playing in the Training Grounds. But for now, thank you guys for coming along and joining. Congratulations to Caldegon. Off of the commentary desk and onto the pitch, proving the worth of their words with their actions. For now, though, I'm going to go have a little nap. Maybe a little, more than a little nap. Because I've got more casting to do tomorrow. Hope you all have a lovely morning, evening, or night, wherever you happen to be in the world. And hopefully catch you all tomorrow for even more REBBL Blood Bowl.